Welcome to Santaroga Surplus. I lied. We're going to have one more video before I do a range video. I want to talk about carry pistols for just a moment. So, as anyone who's been around for very long knows, I do sometimes carry a Polish P64 9mm Makarov blowback pistol around the farm, in the countryside, and it's a beater pistol, and it's really durable, and it's really good for crawling around under tractors and such. It's also very small. I also carry a pocket pistol in a holster, chamber empty, as a backup, and there are a lot of reasons to talk about why chamber empty with a pocket pistol, and we'll get into that. Also caliber selections. So for a while, I've switched to carrying one of my CZ82 pistols, and this is a 9mm Makarov caliber blowback operated pistol. It follows the standard CZ pattern in most ways. These sights are actually standard CZ sights. You can get Meprolites or whatever you want for them. A lot of CZ pistols have a double action and then single action mechanism without a decocker, and that's the part that scares a lot of people. There's no decocker, okay? And in this model, the safety will only actuate if the hammer is back, so if it's cocked, and that's a little bit funky. It's not really a problem for me because there's a hammer block safety, so that won't fire. The trigger has to be back for the hammer to come forward. So decocking is literally just that. You practice it a little bit. It's not really a huge deal. I like double action, single action. I think for a civilian it is the ideal mechanism to carry, and I'll get into that more later. So I've been carrying this for a while. It's a very nice pistol in a lot of ways. It shoots very well for a blowback. Blowbacks often have sharper recoil, especially when you step up to the 9mm Makarov, which is more powerful on average than the 380 round when you're shooting. You can get powerful 380, but you can also get more powerful 9mm Makarov. So it can beat you up a little bit with the recoil and the muzzle flip. So one of the other problems with this is that this is a collectible curio and relic. They're not actually in production, and finding spare parts and spare magazines can start to become problematic. So if you're going to do the exercise type program where I shoot 3 magazines when I do my runs, and that's with one of these. This is also a double stack 12 rounds of 9mm Makarov, which is way better than 6. So plus 1 means 13. So 37 rounds, 3 magazines plus 1 in the chamber, is a lot to put through a firearm. If you're going to be doing this 4 to 6 times a week, you need to make sure that your parts supplies and your spares are handy, because things break over time. So I'm putting that one away for right now. Turns out that loaded, it's actually only about 2 ounces lighter than a 6-hour P229. So this is something I usually carry. I've carried this extensively, and it's something I carry on a motorcycle more often than not, because it's a little bit bigger and pricier. I don't know. It's kind of fun. So this, again, it's the same thing. It's 12 rounds of 40. This is a 40 Smith & Wesson, and running a drill is 37 rounds, but it's a SIG. I should get nearly an infinite life out of it, and when I do start to have problems with springs or triggers or anything, it's a SIG 229. I can fix this. In fact, I already have another one that Shopgirl uses, so not a problem. And I may or may not default to this for an extensive period of time during the video series. I'm not sure. I also have a Jericho 941P. This is the polymer framed version, and again, based on the CZ design, this one does not have a decocker, but is single action, double action. So you pull the trigger to decock it. However, this one also has a full half cock position. Okay, so pull it back, do that. Now you've got your hammer block, but you also have a half cock, which is, I kind of like it. I like having it. You also have a safety that functions. It's not ambidextrous on this. The CZ82 is ambidextrous. But you have a safety that functions with the hammer down. And I like that a lot better. So, and again, single action, double action. The double action is they're all pretty good, actually. I think the reset on this one is significantly better than the CZ82, and the CZ82 actually has kind of a creepy trigger. I have a lot more trouble with pull down, with dropping my shots on that when I'm running fast. This, of course, has 15 round magazines, and I may work with this one some more because I'd like to see how it goes. It's hard to not use a SIG if you have a SIG. So these are some of the options that I'm looking at for extensive use for this project. There are a couple other firearms that I either have or want to look at for potential carry. I carry in a shoulder holster quite often. I know it's not the fastest or most popular method of carry, but it is suitable for a lot of activities I engage in. It's especially suitable for motorcycle riding, working on mechanics, especially with like tractors, farm stuff. It's handy because it's not down in the dirt when you're down in the dirt. It's also very convenient for driving. I am not a fan of the switcheroo. A lot of people play the switcheroo game. You have your appendix carry. When you get in your car, you draw, you put it in your under steering wheel holster, and then you take it back out and switch when you get out. If you have 4 kids or some need to run multiple errands and you have to get in and out 12 times in 2 hours, it's a nightmare. So I know shoulder holsters are considered a little wonky right now, but I do that a lot. Not all of the time, but I do carry shoulder holster a lot of the time. And none of these are significantly different from each other for me if I'm carrying a double magazine pouch on the offside. Because the weight for all of these is pretty well balanced by having 2 full magazines. The CZ is probably the CZ82 is probably the most unbalanced because it is a full steel frame. This 2 magazines is pretty close to the weight of this loaded, and the same with the Jericho. So, well, you'll get to see all of that at the range soon. Tell me in the comments if you have any other suggestions, and have a good one.